What's up?
Whoa, what's up, everybody? We made it to 2021, and what the hell? It's day 9. What's going on? Do we have a return policy? Is it 30 days or is it 15? I forget.
My 7-day
Oh,
free subscription. I don't
yeah,
want to return it.
I saw that one the other day. They had the guy. Yeah, that was that. This is nuts. Welcome to
Yeah.
2021. Welcome to our first show of the year. This is exciting.
Yeah.
You know what's also I'm very excited about this. And you know what's also very, very weird is that like not even, by coincidence or anything, that this is a show we did 3 years ago, but we didn't touch into it like we did. I think we were just starting out then. Yeah. But we touched on Black Eyed Children. Yeah, we did it for fun. And we touched on Black Eyed Children. And I just so happened to look at my Facebook this morning and I was like, oh, this is weird. Because it popped up as my memories.
Yeah, somebody asked us to talk about it.
This is his fault. This is all Kevin's fault. You did not. I don't know. It's been a while. Yeah, it's a topic that it's really I kind of forget about it because you lose it in kind of like the folklore of Mothman and Birdman. It's kind of along the same lines to me in the brain. So it does, I don't think it gets overlooked as much because people always relate black-eyed children to the children of the corn. So I think around Indiana, the folklore is a little bit better about black-eyed children, and the story of black-eyed children is a little bit more told, I would say, around here
Yeah.
because the Midwest and the corn, and it's something they relate it to, and the children of the corn kind of thing. Ricky, what's up? I can hear you. Oh, the chat might not be able to hear you. Mike, what's up, Mike Bowles? How you
Yeah.
doing?
Oh,
How you
there we
doing?
go. They haven't been able to hear me the whole time.
Oh,
Uh,
that's
Oh
fine.
no.
We don't need Kevin. It's okay. Can you hear Kevin now?
yeah, no, I can tell they can hear me now because I'm showing up on my.
Dang it!
I was like, why can't they hear
Psych.
me? Yeah. So
You guys are supposed to
yeah,
let it slide for a little bit, so Kevin just looks like he's just like blah 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 blah
yeah.
blah.
I'm just some
So
camera. I'm here for the looks, I think.
yeah, I'm here for the look. I hope everyone had a great holiday season.
Yes.
We made it through 2020. Christmas was great for me, obviously. This is a sweet new microphone I'm using. And
no, pop filter and boom
oh yeah,
arm.
everything. Studio lights, everything. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And so Christmas has been great. New Year's was great. I woke up without a hangover for the first time I think ever. So that was the best part about New Year's Day for me.
It's an interesting way for you to bring in 2021. Maybe it's your
So
fault.
I feel like I started the year off right, so it's gonna fall apart more.
Maybe. I don't know.
Possibility.
I don't know. I would say out of the whole year, James has probably had the best year of 2020 of any of us.
That's all right. Yeah. That's true. We'll talk about that later.
So what's
But
everyone drinking tonight before we get into it?
a Pepsi, Coke.
Pepsi. Oh, all right, whatever.
See, so mind you, I've been riding out my buzz all day long. Just let everybody know.
Yeah,
My
you-
Colts lost today, and
Nice,
I
nice
drank a
Miller.
lot. I've drank a lot of brewskis out there, so I'm kind of like just chilling out right now, just relaxing.
I am drinking
19 deep, everybody.
Stone Cosmic Runestone IPA. It's upside down.
Nice.
It's actually pretty good. It's the first time I've had it.
Nice. So, chat, welcome to our chat, the 19 people watching right now.
Yes,
we
thank
are going to
you.
be covering Black-Eyed Children and everything
has some
tonight.
stories.
We'll let her loose here in a minute.
Hole.
We'll let her loose here in a minute, but I want to say to the chat, if there's any questions about when we're going through these stories or one of us is giving our input or anything, please put it in the chat. I have it
Yes.
right in front of me. We will stop, ask the questions, answer them for you, and make it freaking awesome. 23 people deep. You are awesome. Ask questions away. Let's do this. So, Kayla, I know
All
you've been
right.
itching. You are itching to tell one of these stories right now.
I am. Should we like start off and kind of like explain what black-eyed children are,
Yeah,
or should we
Yes.
just
why
like
don't you?
delve
Yes,
right
go ahead.
into a story?
Let's
Okay.
let's go ahead. Let's give the definition, and then let's kind of talk about what black-eyed children are first.
Okay, awesome. So they're obviously like an urban legend. They are paranormal creatures that resemble children between ages usually 6 to 16. They're said to have pale skin and black eyes. They usually can be seen hitchhiking, panhandling, or at the doorsteps of your home. Um, Most of the stories have very similar patterns, all the ones that I've read through today. They appear at your home or your vehicle, they knock and insist upon getting inside. Most encounters immediately feel overwhelming. They feel an overwhelming sense of dread. Um, and they usually kind of have like outdated attire, and they
Mm-hmm.
don't have any kind of emotion. They're just kind of very monotone, very just
That
very
is the big key feature of them. So one of the
yes.
big key features is that when a black-eyed children shows up to your doorstep, to your road, they do not change voices.
Yes,
It
they're
is
very
monotone
monotone.
all the
Yeah.
way through.
Yes.
So it was
All the way
Mike.
through. And
Um
that's
Mike is the one who suggested this, by the way.
okay.
ah,
Oh, that's right.
Kevin.
Just
We
way
can
off.
smack Kevin for you. He's weird. We apologize for Kevin, but he did try to give credit at the beginning.
Yeah, I'm
He
trying to
did.
drink and set this all up.
He's a little stressed. But the fact of that, like, it's not just it's been documented through history too. So
Yeah.
it's not just like it's been just something that just came of made up by somebody like Slender Man. Slender Man's one of the ones that's been around kind of
Yeah.
lately. But
Yes.
every account, even in the late accounts, they always wear that early attire.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's never
Yeah. Or just
and
kind of like
that's
out of character for the weather, out of character for like
yes.
the time or the area that they're in or what they might be doing. So
It's
that and
that's
then
what
I
strikes me
mean,
interesting.
yeah. Yeah, a lot of people have said like, oh, they looked like they were wearing clothes from like the 50s, 60s, 70s is usually the era that they seem to be
And
dressed
And
in.
one of the
And for
things
me, I
that
don't know how that doesn't throw up a flag right there. If you're driving down the road and you see somebody dressed in the 50s attire, you know what? Keep going. The road that's called the
Yeah.
gas pedal. It's on the right. Don't stop.
or
Well, and the fact
slam the
that,
door.
it's usually like very early in the morning,
Yeah,
3,
or
4
late at night,
a.m.
however you want to look at that.
Yeah, and it's children showing up at your doorstep in the middle
That
of the night, and
that ugh.
yeah,
Yeah.
I would have a heart attack. But everybody who's watching now, supposedly kids are more likely to approach people who already know about them, so we're all screwed.
Yeah.
So,
They
by the
also
way,
don't look at you.
disclaimer.
Yes.
Wabash Paranormal is not affiliated for any children with black eyes showing up to your house.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
tonight, tomorrow, the day after, or if you're driving down the road, you see somebody, floor it. Don't hit the brakes. Disclaimer over. Back to the story.
Do please try to swerve.
Yeah. Floor it. Run.
But
So,
yeah, they don't tend to look at you when you first
Yeah.
open the door. They look
No.
down and don't try to make eye contact with you, because then it's a dead
Exactly.
giveaway.
Yeah.
Well, if
Yeah,
you know
so-
what black-eyed children are.
And to
Yes.
me, that means like if they're not looking at you right up front, they want you to acknowledge them and their existence right there as soon as you open the door. And then once you're acknowledging that existence, is when they kind of like hook, line, and sinker you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's
and like
just-
another
that's
common
my
thing in most of
opinion.
the stories is just like this over intense feeling of dread and just fear. Every
Ooh.
single person was like, it was just fear to their core is what they felt, and it just was so overwhelming, and that they felt this need to like let them into their homes, but
Okay.
something like
Because they're
always
children.
like yeah.
Most of the
so
time,
this-
it's because they're children.
Yeah, as
And
we
they're-
get back into this, there's a fun little fact that I found, but
Ooh, fun facts.
yes.
Man,
Fun
fun
facts.
facts with Kevin. I used to do that.
Fun fact with Kevin. I think in chat room, Kara's raising her hand, so I'm going to be a teacher and call on
Oh,
Kara.
yes, Kara. Yes.
Kara, you're raising your hand in chat, so go ahead.
Or maybe
the-
she's waving.
Or she would
We'll
be the
pause.
one that would let them
We're
in.
pausing for station identification for 10 seconds
Yeah.
for Kara.
anyway. Yeah, I don't think she'll answer. Well, she might,
Yeah.
but it'll be delayed, so we'll answer when she comes up.
Yeah.
Kidding.
So what was that little fun fact?
Let's hit me with the fun facts.
Scrolling through my notes here real quick.
Kayla with notes, gotta love it.
She's
Gotta
got
love
she's
it.
got the notes today. So one thing, you know,
I got a
what
bunch.
strikes me.
So
I'm gonna speak while you're. Well, let me know when you have your fun fact found. So I just want to set the scene for the people in the chat right now. Could you imagine?
I'm imagining what? Did we? Oh
Oh,
my
no.
God, we fucking lost James. Oh my God, this. So James is on Wi-Fi. He told us it wasn't going to be a problem,
Yeah.
and apparently it is. Oh man.
What happened?
Hey, you're back.
We lost
Turn your
you.
camera back on.
Just whenever I start getting good, guys, it just does this.
Right? I love how you were like,
It's
I'm on Wi-Fi tonight. It shouldn't be a problem though.
Yeah, I did do that. I said it. It shouldn't be a problem though, and then I'm an idiot. I forgot the cable. I'm sorry.
All good, all good.
Yeah,
We'll
I know.
make it.
Corey's sitting there. Corey Johnson's like, the suspense is killing me. And
So what were you
I'm
gonna
back.
say?
And now I'm back from outer space. No, what are we talking about again?
Black Eyed.
You were talking.
Black Eyed
You were
Peas.
talking until I found my fun fact, which I found
Did
my
you-
fun fact.
You found your fun facts, so I'm just gonna
Yeah.
let them be in suspense.
Okay. So we were talking about how like most people like they don't let them in, but there are a few stories of encounters of people who have let them into their homes and
Yes.
it never ends up good for those people. So this guy that I was reading this book, his name is Vasey, Michael Vasey, I believe is
Okay.
his name. Yes, Michael Vasey was the name of this guy, and he said there are few stories where the black-eyed children were allowed in. Hard not to think that the ones who did suffered from some horrifying state. Some 90,000 people have simply just disappeared at any given time in the US, never to be heard from again. Makes you wonder if some of them have fallen victim to the black-eyed kids.
Yes, I
Wait.
did
Time
hear
out.
that too.
Time out. Let's rewind.
Yeah.
Let's rewind that a little bit. So you're
Let's
telling me
unpack that.
we're gonna put it back in the cart and take it out one by one. So you're telling me that 90,000 people went missing and nobody knows an inkling of where they went?
Well, not in
That's
a
from
year.
a year.
In
In
a
1
year?
year?
In 1 year.
In 1 year, 90,000 people disappeared.
All right.
And
He's saying, like,
nobody
over,
knows
like,
where they're at.
I'm guessing it's like a rough guesstimation. Like he's saying like 90,000 people go missing every year in the United States.
Okay.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So in total,
so-
90,000.
In total, in the whole year, roughly
And
90,000.
in my mind,
Okay.
what just happened in my mind that black-eyed children just took 90,000 people. I was
Yeah,
like,
they
"Run,
just
lock your doors,
straight
everybody."
up took them. Just you open. I mean, it's a better chance by getting abducted by black-eyed children than it is to get struck by lightning.
Jeez.
But it makes sense, like, to think, like, you know, some of these people have never been heard from, their bodies have never been found, like, you know, nothing, they're just gone. Like,
Yeah.
And that
maybe
that's
some
cra-
of them
that-
were taken because there are so many little accounts of people actually letting these kids in that
We don't
the
hear about
very
them.
few that do have stories of letting them in, like either people, I have two
They're
actually I'm going to tell tonight, or
horrifying.
somebody has died, or people have had cancer or tumors, or you know, bad things have happened to them out of nowhere. So
Yeah.
it's kind of just it was a little
Death.
interesting
Just a
snippet that I
overarch of death happens.
found. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're terrifying.
Yeah. Don't let them in. They're bad
Don't
for
let
your
them in.
health.
So, and for me, it's kind of like along the lines of, you know, when I first read the story of black-eyed children, and not inviting them in, not having them, you know, not looking them in the, you know, contacting them in the face and everything. The first thing I thought was vampires. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Hmm.
That's the
Vampires.
first thing I thought, because you have to invite a vampire into your house
That's-
allegedly.
that's-
I don't know.
that's true.
Vampires are maybe.
That is one
You
of
know,
the many
So
That's one of the
many
urban
that's kinda-
theories
legends.
of what they are.
well,
Yeah.
and that's why the urban legend, when I first heard about black-eyed children, that's in my brain. That's how my brain works. You know, it's all a messed up place up there. We all know that. But that's how I relate it. I'm like, oh, it's like kind of like vampires. So if you don't talk to them or everything, they should go away.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, some of the
Josh,
like vampires were one of like of what they thought they were, direct descendants of Lilith.
Yep.
The
yes,
Iroquois Indians believe that they were soul eaters, from
probably right.
folklore of Akiri, which is a ghost or spirit of a little girl who comes down from the mountains or the hilltops at night and brings sickness to humans, which most of the people
bringer of death,
who have
essentially.
told
Yeah.
stories of letting them in, they get sick. Um, Soul eaters, yeah.
And
The dark
that's a
tower
big
called
thing.
Otkon.
That's a big thing. Sickness.
Yeah.
It is. It is actually. That's. You're right. Because I think, um, more times than none, if people invite them in, they're usually somebody that passes away from a sickness in the family, doesn't it? I remember right.
Um, Usually it's the people who've come in contact with them that
Oh,
get,
so straight
yeah, the
contact.
ones
Okay.
that let them in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So in this sense too. So I'm gonna spin it this way real quick, and I don't mean to go pseudoscience, but I'm gonna go pseudoscience because it's freaking phenomenal. So in the sense of like Bigfoot, how we think sometimes people see like a flash of light and Bigfoot comes into our realm and our dimension. So what does this say? Like these black-eyed children, when they show up in the middle of the night, they don't have a sense of time. They don't know when's daylight or not. They're just popping into our dimension. Maybe they're just trying to pop in, collect a couple souls, and roll.
Yeah.
yeah.
You never know. You never know.
So there's one
It's
story.
the what ifs. It's the
Yeah.
what ifs.
There's one story I know Kayla's going to tell that I'll save my thoughts on what I think possibly black-eyed children could be. Um, but yeah, no, they're interest. There's I didn't think about vampires in that sense, and that's a great point of
It's
how
a dead
like
giveaway with you
letting
have to
them
invite
in.
them in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, vampires and demons seem to be people's like most drawn to explanations of what these black-eyed
Yeah,
kids are.
and
Yeah,
I
it's
have a
like that's
random
best of
thing
both
here.
worlds.
I have a
Okay,
random thing
random
here.
thing.
I just
Random
there's
fact with Kevin.
I can't get it. It's not a fact. I can't get it out of my head. Every time
What is
James comes up to his pop mic, like his microphone, he looks like Wilson from Tool Time. You can't see the top half of his face, or you can't see the bottom half of his face. I'm just sitting there. I'm like, man, he just looks like half face.
Hello.
It's like that's Wilson from Tool Time. Sorry,
Hello.
I couldn't help myself. I've been bugging me.
You guys are welcome for the laugh. You guys are welcome for the laugh. I know. I mean, I'm in a recliner, so I sit back to listen to you guys talk. I'm like, yeah, it's great.
I mean, I'm kind of
Oh,
like the same way.
I'm back.
That's why I zoom out quite a bit,
Oh,
and I
here we
have
go.
fancy stuff to show off.
So
Hopefully,
and also, oh, go ahead.
no,
Kevin.
I was mine's so off. I was like, hopefully next
Go
week
ahead. No,
we'll have.
we're
Hopefully next week, me and you will have one in person to some degree.
yeah.
Because
Hopefully, yeah.
we have this new table we'd like to show off, and it's not done yet. I get a monitor mount, so it's all messy looking right now, but we'll show off that table and the whole design. You've probably seen pictures on our page, so check them out and
Yes.
Yeah.
tell us what you think.
So yeah, and yeah, the pictures are there. Oh, Travis Ford, thanks for joining us tonight. We got Corey, Mike in here again. If you guys have any questions related to black-eyed children, any
Throw 'em.
questions related to the paranormal, throw them in that chat. We will take a few minutes to talk to you about them and answer your questions. So
If it's a
we're
good
nice
topic
like
for
that.
another night, we will definitely
We
pick it
might
up.
we might make it a different night. We don't know.
Yeah.
But right now we are on the
Black-eyed children.
children.
So,
Don't
Kayla,
Kara, don't let the kids back in. Got it. Not your kids, Kara. You got to let your kids back in.
yes,
The black-eyed children.
That's debatable, Kara.
Yeah. I've heard them. I get your thought, but yes, you have to let them
All
back
right.
in.
You have to let your kids back in, Kara. Unfortunately, that is the truth. So yeah,
let's hear a story.
Let's hear a
Okay.
story.
All right. So I'm going to start with kind of where the popularity of like black-eyed kids, like the story came from. It was by an author named, well, I guess he wasn't an author. He is into the paranormal. His name's Brian Bethel. And
You
he,
sent me a link. I'll post it in chat.
yes. So Brian Bethel he was on the show Monsters and Mysteries in America.
Okay.
He had like some kind of some kind of like page that people could send in their stories to him or whatever, and he went off with that. But he actually had an encounter himself. So his story is that late one evening in his car, he stopped in a parking lot at a movie theater near Camelot Communications to pay a bill. He didn't notice two young boys approach his car until the older one tapped on his window. He rolled down his window, noted immediately a soul-racking fear, though he didn't understand why. The kids told him they wanted to catch a movie, but they forgot their money and asked for a ride. They assured him it wouldn't take long, and they didn't have a gun, which he automatically thought that was super weird. He found the assurances unnerving, and the film had already started, so by the time he would have taken them somewhere to get their money and brought them back, the show would have been over. So when he broke eye contact with them, the sphere came over, and that's when he noticed that their eyes were completely blacked out. Like they weren't at first, and then he like broke eye contact with them and looked back, and their eyes were completely black. And the older boy of the two got very frustrated with him and said he couldn't get in the car unless he told him it was okay. And then at that point he just like tore out of there. So that was his
Huh.
encounter, and he's kind of the one who, like I said, kind of started the big hubbub on everything. Like he posted this article, and it got things kind of rolling for
For the
people to
black-eyed
come out
children
with
kind
their
of thing.
stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing. So in that situation there, it seems like the gentleman that was talking to the kids, or that the kids approached, was in a daze when they first locked eyes with him. So it's like he was mesmerized, so he
Hmm.
couldn't see their true appearance. And
Yeah.
it wasn't until he broke eye contact and he looked back up, and that's when the fear set in, because he realized this is not right. This is not human. I'm talking to something that's shouldn't be real right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I get from that story.
Yeah. And that's how a lot of the stories seem to be, is that, they open the door and they're just in this kind of like trance state where they want to let them in, but they're just overtaken by fear. And then, I mean, there's even some that crazy things have happened, like some stories. There's one that there's some weird stuff that happens that something
Well,
like protects them. And it's pretty wild.
so and that could be and that could be a case of black-eyed children, being the bad entity or the bad figure
Yeah.
in the story, and who's to say that one of them doesn't have a guardian angel attached to him?
Yeah.
So
And well,
this
that's
bad,
what one of them was like a guardian angel type thing. But then
yeah,
if we have enough time, there's actually stories of black-eyed people, like adults as well, besides black-eyed children. So there's two stories I'm holding out for the end that if we have time, I'll get to them.
okay.
And they talk about white-eyed kids coming to save them.
So that, oh yeah, we'll get to it. Well,
Yeah.
that's a thing that we'll definitely get to that.
So, which was
Yeah.
super interesting.
Well, I mean, I'm interested. You got me. I'm ready. Let's go. No. Is there any questions in the chat? Any questions at all? Just post them in there, like we said, with everybody
Yeah.
that's tuning in right now. Literally doesn't have to be related to what we're talking about now, but that's okay.
Also, I did post the book in there, and so if anyone's interested, they can check that out. Give credit where credit's due on the stuff that we find.
And okay, I want to touch on this that Mike said. Mike Bowles goes, adults'
Yeah.
natural instinct would be to help children or a
Yeah.
child. And
Yeah,
that's
instantly
true.
open their home to them.
So let's spin it this way. So is this some sort of like mischief demon or some higher level demon that can misshape itself to know that adults are going to take to children better and they're going to take care of children better?
Yeah. I mean, or that are gonna like let them in to.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's something to like letting in a demon to some degree as well.
Yeah,
you don't
absolutely.
need to give permission, but I think that kind of opens the door even easier for an entity like that.
Yeah.
For
could be
these
the
ones, you
entities.
do have to give permission.
Yeah.
They won't come in unless you give them permission. Yeah.
And then most of them start to get volatile and aggravated the longer you proceed without giving them
Yes.
permission.
Yeah.
Or if you start asking too many questions and they get agitated and different situations like that too.
Yeah. Yeah. So Josh asked, how long ago did this myth begin? So when it became popular was in 1996, and that's when Brian Bethel kind of posted his story along with another
Definitely
story
the
that Kevin
90s.
was talking about earlier. But I mean, they've found stories back, like people have came out and said, back in 74 and 1950. And so
Yeah.
usually the ones like 1950 and before are in like the UK or Australia are really the only other
And
places that they could
it's
find
weird.
stories.
It's
Yeah,
weird like that because we've traced back a lot of our stories to England, to Ireland,
yeah,
to the Mideast, and
Well,
stuff like that,
so
and past shows too.
you also touched on it being a Native American thing, you know.
yeah,
Yes.
So even then, you know, even when we talk about Bigfoot, they have urban legends or stories about Bigfoot. You know, they have the same thing about these children coming down from the mountains and those kinds
Yeah.
of things. So it goes even further back
yeah,
than 1996. It just became
yeah.
popularized, most likely due to the internet.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's
that's
one of
true.
the big things that Vasey talks about, Michael Vasey, in this book is, that there's stories that are coming out now because the internet is such an easy, accessible
Hmm.
Thing.
kind of platform for people to get onto. So now that people can get on there and be like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I had this encounter back in the 60s, I had this encounter back in the 40s. And
So you're
so
actually able to document better
1996
now
was,
because of the internet.
yeah,
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 one of the
absolutely.
other things, another fun fact about them is resembles children between the ages of 6 to 16.
Yep.
Hey, Trevor Howard, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hello. Welcome back, Trevor.
Heard you guys had some fun last night playing some games.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, we
Friday
did.
nights is our game nights, and Saturdays will be podcast
We
nights. That's what
well,
we
we
got.
might be upping it as well to,
We
you know,
might be up in
another.
it, just
We most
depending on
likely
what's
will
good.
be.
Yeah, we might be
Yeah.
doing another night a week. Who knows? We'll figure it out.
I think one night will be Josh's night, and one night will be my night.
Oh, hoo, hoo.
Well, not that
Sounds
I won't
good.
be on Friday nights anymore or anything, but that will be
Nope, you're
his
not allowed.
choice. Let me in. Let me in.
So again, Chad, I'm just gonna go over this real quick.
Yeah,
We
go
are
ahead. I'm gonna
talking
get a
about
beer.
black-eyed children, black-eyed children. So if you have any questions
Yes.
about those, you can throw them in chat. We've already been over um, a couple different situations and stories that Kayla has found so far. I know she's
Mic
itching to
off.
tell some more. Look at her face. She's like, "Yay!"
Always.
She's so excited. She's so excited right now. This is her way of being able to have fun right now.
Yeah, I was telling James earlier that I don't know if it's like a gift or a curse, but like, or if I'm a terrible researcher or a good researcher, but when I find something that like intrigues me, I delve into this rabbit hole, and I could have probably bought like 10 more books today and continued reading about this when
But
it was time
it's
to get on
so
the podcast.
interesting. It's
I
really
know.
it's one of those
Mic on.
topics that
Yeah, I
it's
mean, I
Yeah.
did it with the monoliths too.
yeah.
I dove down that rabbit hole, and here I am.
Well,
So
Yeah, and
you
that
even dove down the rabbit hole. You just happened to not feel good at the time of the Chernobyl. Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
Chernobyl and the Mothman. Like you drove down that. You just happened to be sick. So I
yeah. So
took your
I sent Josh
information.
all my notes.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
works. That works. So I'm ready for one of these other stories.
Oh, thanks, Kara. Kara likes my nails.
Oh, I got the same ones.
Okay, next story. Let's see.
Travis, we are down for that, so we'll have to set it up. But unfortunately, it's gonna have to be not winter when I go in the woods. Not winter, but yes, we'd
Yeah,
love to
it's
check it
too
out.
cold.
It's
Yeah.
not winter's great. All right, let's hit us with another
All
story.
right, story number 2. Okay, so this one is by a man named Keith W. that submitted this story. He says he's had his own experience. It happened a few years ago. I've never been able to really think of a rational reason for what happened. It just happened. He went out to mow his lawn in the front of the ditch of his road. He has bushes and flowers neatly set up. To his surprise, somebody had. Sorry, my thing just switched on me. Oh, had stepped away and stepped all over his roses, and he was pretty upset about it. So the next day, he saw 2 kids walking down the road. Keep in mind, my road has several houses, so we all know each other very well. These kids look to be around 14 or 15 years old, and I've never seen these kids before in the neighborhood. I wanted to go outside and ask them if they had messed with my roses, but I figured they're just kids, and I'll let it slide this time.
Get off my
The kid,
lawn.
yeah.
It's a very moment of like that. So sorry, Kevin.
No, you're fine.
Continue.
The kids stopped walking and just stood on the road right across from my house. That's a good 100 or so feet away. They just stood there. I was looking out the window and they were just standing right there. I went to my room to get my shoes, and when I came out, they were gone. Around 8 p.m. that same evening, it was starting to get dark out. My power went off, and on and off a few times. That's never happened before. We usually have very stable electricity. Around 8:20, I heard a deep knocking at my front door. I went to the door, turned on my porch light, and looked through the little hole in the door, but it was just pitch black, even though the light was on. I didn't know why, but I was extremely terrified. I started to put my hand on the handle and asked, "Who's there?" Kid answered, "Sorry to bother you, but we are lost and need to borrow your phone."
Okay, so
He
we
says,
mom.
I have a spare cell phone you can borrow for a few minutes. I told him, "Let me go get it and I'll come outside with you." The kid just said, "No, you let me in right now." And he started
Mic
banging on
off.
the door. I'm not talking about just hitting it, but it was something very big and wide was smashing
Mic
against my
on.
door. I said, "You quit that right now. I have a gun, and if you try anything, I will shoot you." The kid kept
Shit.
screaming, Let me in now, you're making a mistake." I grabbed my gun and held it off to the side of my leg. I put my hand on the lock and unlocked the door. This is where I made my mistake. I opened the door expecting either of those kids or just one kid with a weapon or something, but these weren't little kids. Standing at my door were two people, and both looked young, but their eyes gave them away. They were pitch black. I felt terrified again. I felt like
Oh
putting my
wow.
shotgun down and letting them in. I'm not sure why I felt that way, as I had the door open for those 3 or 4 seconds. The taller kid started to walk forward to come in. I kicked my door shut as hard as I could and I locked it. At this point, I heard them both crying and screaming in a strange, distorted, high pitched way, followed by some banging on my door again. I went to check my back door just to make sure it was still locked. Thankfully, my back door was locked, and by the time I headed to the front door, they just stopped. I loaded my shotgun, opened the door, expecting these things, but they were gone. I heard some footsteps and my neighbor was coming by. He heard some weird screams and came by to check on me. I stood there, probably looking like death, with a shotgun in my hand. I let him in and told him the entire event. He told me to call the cops, but I was positive they wouldn't believe me, and I never called them.
So in that situation too, we see it start out as the children are claiming to be, in need of help. And it's kind of the same thing in every situation, but then when you don't give it to them, they get really agitated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
agitated.
Yes,
Because
they
I
do.
can just imagine what he heard with that high pitched squeal, and it's probably like a tritone voice is what he heard.
Mhm.
And then that was them saying, "We're not going to get our way. We're not going to get our souls. They're not letting us in. We got to get out of here." In that
And
situation,
they just disappear. So the
yeah,
one
that gave
weird
me
thing about this story was
just
that
All
somebody
disappear.
else
children.
actually yeah.
All children are terrifying.
So yes, there you go.
That is a pinned comment, and we like it.
Yeah.
That is a pinned comment, and we like it.
Yeah, the one weird thing about this story though is that somebody else actually heard the scream. There's multiple other stories in that book that Kevin
But this had
posted in
multiple
a chat.
witnesses.
Yeah, but other people don't. I mean, there were some stories of people who were in hotel rooms and they heard screaming all up and down the hallways, and they would go to report it and nobody else said anything about it. Just like, so it seems to be usually directed to the person that they're like going after, but for
Yep,
some reason his neighbor heard those screams as well. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
that is very interesting. Maybe he was just walking by at the right time and heard it, to
Yeah.
where I have no clue. But
Yeah.
that is interesting. You're right. It's usually just coming from a one person encounter, not two.
Yeah.
And that's where I think
Mic
stories start
off.
getting validity, is when you're getting more
Mic on.
reputable people talking about it, or you get more people talking about it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So multiple people having the same stories and the same situations and the same effects and the same outcomes, really.
Yeah.
And then that's when it starts doing. I love the pin comment. I just love that. I love that. It's awesome. What's
Children
up,
are
Bo? I
very
didn't say hi
creepy.
to you yet. What's up, Bo?
He said you look
Oh,
sexy
Bo.
tonight.
Oh, I know he does. I do it for him. It's just for him, not you guys.
The singular focusing is kind of interesting. Yes, it is.
Travis said my kids scare me every day. We get it. We get it. That's crazy. These stories I just, it's weird how they did. I think it's just the internet era is what really brought them out. Like you
Hmm.
said,
Yeah.
Sorry,
people on
Josh,
the
that's
internet
my
and just like,
microphone.
what?
Oh, he said, why is the mic on and off being aired over stream? I can't turn it off. I'll mute it if I have to burp or something like that.
I didn't even notice it. It's only a
No,
Josh thing.
Discord doesn't hear it, but for some reason, since it's all the streams going through my computer, the stream
Oh, it
hears it.
hears the on and off.
Yeah.
That makes sense. The way to distract us, Josh. Awesome.
Way to get us
Awesome.
sidetracked. We were on a roll, man.
Right?
On
We
a
were.
roll.
Do I need to
Trevor, I
tell another
believe.
story?
Yes, let's go. We're going to another story. We do have videos tonight. We have one video tonight, don't we, Kev?
Yes, and I will be honest, I do have to do some stuff on the fly with this new setup. I forgot to add that one display thing to it, so it won't take me more than a minute
Okay.
to get it all
Well,
set up.
Kayla's
So.
going to go ahead and tell this story, then we'll chat about it, and then we'll probably get into that video.
How
Yeah,
many do we
this
have?
one.
I would say I thought we had quite a few because you haven't even talked about the local one.
All right, well, hit me. Oh,
And-
yeah.
and-
that
or-
one. So when I was talking about the wide-eyed kids,
Yeah.
that one corresponds with that story. So that's going to be kind of like the last if we have time. But there is one from Indianapolis in that book that I
Yeah,
read.
we definitely need
Ooh.
we definitely need to
We'll,
talk
we'll
about it.
get to that one.
Yeah.
So let's just cover whatever one you want to cover next.
Okay.
And we have time. We have time for a couple in the video.
Yeah, well,
it's Saturday night.
I would say the video is only
Yeah.
10 minutes. It's not very long.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Saturday night. We're doing good.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
I mean,
on my
I can
second
just, like,
beer. I
buzz
got a few
through
more.
these.
No, don't take your
Yeah.
time. Take your time.
Okay.
We're-
Okay, so
we
this
don't
one was
have
really
time.
interesting.
Everyone here is enjoying it.
Yeah.
So far.
Well, good. So this one kind of was like a premonition kind of story. Like things happen with the children, and then things later on in their life corresponded back to the children, which
Yeah.
was kind of interesting. So, my computer's about to die, so let me grab my charger
Oh shit.
real quick.
Could've been
I
real
didn't
good.
even think about it,
She-
and then you guys talk, and then we'll get the story started.
That just cracks me up. She's like, I'm going to tell you this amazing story, guys.
So I
And
will
done.
yeah, I will I'll start filling the gap here. So one of the things that I think this is because I really haven't given my perspective is I think it could be
Go right ahead.
extraterrestrials. You get the black eyes, you have the black-eyed aliens, the grays and stuff like that. They're described with having all blacks
Oh, you just
in their
opened up a
eyes.
can of worms in my brain.
I know.
You
It's
just made my brain go, what?
so Kayla, I know you missed this, but I think I gave my point of view of what I think it is feature wise is the blacked out eyes. It could be demonic, but that also is like a TV thing. We don't know if that's true or not. But I'm thinking extraterrestrial from the darks
Yes.
of their eyes. How they all black out. You think of the grays and how their eyes are they're bigger, but they're black. They're all black.
That is another theory.
But how do
that
we
I've read on
know?
here.
So
wait.
one of-
I'm not ready to stop talking about this one yet, Kevin.
Oh no, I'm not either. But her story will lead
Okay,
towards
so
some
let-
credit
okay.
to what I'm
Okay.
thinking.
All right, Kayla, take
because
it away
I
before
don't.
my brain just
Well,
goes,
I don't think they're alone. I think this is a project being done.
Yeah.
Personally,
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
this is like think of no, tell the story because I don't want to give this last part away.
Yeah,
the
shut
story.
up, Kevin. Let her talk.
Do you want me to do the one of the video that you sent me then?
No. Well, yeah.
No.
That one. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Maybe. I don't know.
Because I
Go
have
ahead.
that one as well.
I'm just excited to
that-
hear the
the-
story.
Okay, I'll do that one.
The one with the
next,
nosebleed.
and- Yes. Okay.
Yes.
I will
That's
do that one.
weird.
So this one was in a town in Vermont. It was in the winter, so it was snowing outside, and there was an elderly couple that heard the sound of 3 loud knocks on their door. They opened the door and saw 2 children, a boy and a girl, just standing there. They stated that their parents will be here soon, and asked if they may come in. They did not make eye contact. They just stood in the doorway. The couple hesitated. Then they decided to let them in. The husband was trying to ask them questions, and they just kept going. They wouldn't answer any of them. The couple's cat seemed to be very scared and angry with the children, which they said was not normal for their cat. It was usually a very friendly cat.
Affectionate cat.
Okay.
Yes, and so the wife left to go and make hot chocolate for the kids, and she brought it back. And when she came back, her husband's head was in his hands, and he just said he felt very dizzy and didn't feel well. And so at that point, the kids asked if they could use the restroom. So and they just like got up and walked to the restroom. So after they left the room, her husband lifted his head and his nose was bleeding. And so she that was kind of weird in itself. And so she went to go look for the kids because the power went out at that point. So she walked down the hallway to where the bathroom
At that
was.
point, she thought this is coalescing. Like at this point, she was
Yeah.
thinking something's going on. I think these kids are having, an ill impact on what's happening right now. So she was
Yes.
thinking something was off.
Yes. So she goes to walk down the hallway to the bathroom to get the kids, and they're just standing in the hallway. Just they aren't in the bathroom, they're just standing there. And they turn around and they look at her, and this is when she sees their black eyes, and they said, our parents are here." And they just like walk out of the house, leave the front door wide open, and head out to the end of the driveway where this lady looks out the door and she sees two men standing at the end of the driveway. And the kids go with these two men, get in the car, and they drive off together. And the power came back on shortly after they left.
So
So
one of the
then,
yeah, so well one of the things that
I
they're
got so many things to say
yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
well one of the things that they described the men as is they were all in black.
yes, black
Continue.
hair, long black hair, pale skin, black clothes. Um, and so throughout the next like week or so, strange occurrences continued to happen. 3 of their 4 cats just mysteriously went missing, no sign of them. And then one day they came home and found their 4th cat dead in a pile of its own blood, in a pool of its own blood. The husband continued to have nosebleeds for weeks afterwards, and so finally they took him to the doctor, which he was diagnosed with an extremely aggressive form of skin cancer, said to be from being in tanning beds a lot. Like it was a common cancer with tanning beds, and she said that her and her husband have never been in a tanning bed in their
In their
life.
life, yeah.
Yeah. So
And
cats missing.
didn't she start having chronic dizziness
Yes.
and she
Yes.
had
She
a
has and nosebleeds as well.
yeah.
Yes.
So that was
So
how the story went. And that
yes,
was
and
our
these are one of
one that went
the
in. That was the first one that went
yes.
into the house.
This is one of the few that actually got into the house.
So I'm
So
thinking Men in Black.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
well, it's like these entities or these extraterrestrials, whatever you want to call them, these black-eyed children come in, and they take life, they take energy, they take everything, and that's why you feel the fear, that's why you feel sick,
Yeah.
and them maybe him getting that cancer or them getting the nosebleeds is side effects of them doing that.
And we're
Hmm.
only hearing this is like one story. Like there's not many out there
Yeah.
of people actually
No.
inviting them in that we can see. And I'm sure we could probably dive into like Reddit or some shit
Oh, I'm sure there's on
Yeah.
the
and I'm
dark web or
but
There
you,
was
something
you
that's some
never
crazy
know
stuff.
creepy pastas out there, all sorts of
Yeah.
stuff. You don't
There
know
was
what's
one
true or
other
not.
one. Yeah, there was one other one where they let them in, and the wife started having really bad headaches and stuff after they left, and then she went to the doctor and found out she had a brain tumor.
Yeah.
Wow. So
So, and then there
they're
was another
bringing.
one where a couple let him in, and the husband went to the hospital because while the kids were still in the house, and he said he had this stabbing pain in his stomach. It felt like somebody was like taking a sword into his stomach, and so she rushed him to the hospital, and his appendix busted, like while the kids were there.
Yeah, so I'm like telekinesis or telekinetic abilities and some shit like
Yeah, it
that is
might be a thing
crazy,
with these.
I don't know if that's
Yeah,
true, but
Well, we don't know because nobody has the book on what's real and what's not.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
and who knows? I mean, all these stories could be fucking made up. And you can
Eh,
have that argument. You can do the same thing with
all day
Bigfoot,
long.
but that's not why we're here. Personally,
No,
we
no,
kind of
no,
want
no.
to. I mean, yeah, we see that side, and everyone wants to give that give that opinion is fine, but
Yeah,
just like entertain the idea of like, what if this is real? What is it?
yeah,
that's true.
I think
absolutely.
aliens. But
I kind
I'm
of like.
what is my deal? I keep
I
going with
like your.
aliens
I
on a
like
lot
your.
of my stuff.
I like your spin on aliens though, because that kind of sticks with that saying our parents are here. So it's like
Yes.
they just
Hmm.
arrived on this planet, and then they're going to these people's home, asking to use phones, asking to use something to call somebody. They're trying to get hold of somebody,
Or
Yeah.
what if
Like
this
there
or
is
they
was
want
one
part
to
of
come
the
story
in.
where they
deal?
asked to use a telegraph, and the guy is like, "A telegraph? Like I don't have one of those."
Well,
What
and
if
maybe they don't know what century they're in.
so
Yeah.
If it's
hear me out.
interdimensional travel, you don't know what year you're coming
Hear,
to.
hear me out here. So what if it is, Men in Black or however you want to talk about, there is an agreement that they're allowed to be here. And part of that agreement is they get to get some part of people every now and then that is fall into their trap or whatever. And,
Hmm.
then they do their thing, they get what they need, and what that causes us is cancer, tumors,
True.
whatever our reactions are to it, but that's part of their agreement. They supervise them during it, and then they get done, they pick them up, take them back to where they are, or where they are stationed or whatever.
Hmm.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that could be too. It could be
That
information
could be the
gathering. You
beer
never
talking.
know.
I don't know.
That could be the beer talking about. I don't know. Again, we're sitting here 27 people deep right now. Awesome, awesome, awesome. If you have any questions about what we're talking about and the black-eyed children, throw it in that chat room or any questions in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It is. It is very interesting.
Black-eyed children is always interesting as a topic itself because there's just like you said, there's a lot more documented about it now than when
Yeah.
we first did it 3 years ago, Kevin. We barely found anything on it. So for you
It was
finding this
tough. Yeah.
book, it
Yeah,
was
I
it was
would if
tough,
I wouldn't
but
have read this book, I wouldn't have these stories that I have at all
Yeah.
because
and that,
I kept finding the same stories like over and over and
hmm
over again.
And I think that
Um,
story that you just told was the same one that we might have talked about when we did our
I
show.
think so.
Because I
yeah.
remember that when I was like this one, and I sent it to you, and I was like, I
Yeah.
remember this one, and
Yeah.
that could have been what we touched on briefly on it. So you know,
Oh, absolutely.
and
I
so
think you are exact.
what you're saying, there's another one. There's a White Eyes Children. So
Okay, so now we've been talking about black-eyed children and
Okay.
everything like that. So she has a spin, and I haven't heard of this yet, but it makes sense to me. But I'll let you talk about it first, and then I'll say why it makes sense to me. That we can kind of all each take our turn.
Okay. Um, so
She lost it. No, just kidding.
no, I have it. I'm just trying to figure out which one I want to because one of them was oh, I know. Okay. Because the second one was the Indianapolis one. So
Well, we'll
I
cover
want
that
to
one before.
do this one.
yeah, we have
Okay.
plenty of time.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So I'll do this one first and then I'll do the one from Indianapolis because it kind of like they go hand in hand with each other.
I still got
Okay.
plenty of beers, so we can keep going.
Yeah, I mean, I've got plenty of other stories, so
I
I
got
have a
plenty of
whole
other
book.
stories.
We appreciate everyone tuning
Okay,
in.
so
Yes,
yeah, for
absolutely for joining
sure.
tonight.
So this one took place in Kansas.
Oh,
Oh, hey,
Josh, watch out!
Josh, Kara.
Kansas.
Let them in. Let the kids in.
They said, looking back, the most bizarre thing about my experience was how quickly they showed up. I walked in the porch, turned around to lock it, then turned back. There was a knock. More than anything else about this story that freaks me out, it's not something that I've seen other accounts that I've read. I turned around and saw them. Two kids, one was in his early teens, the other looked to be about 11. The older one was knocking. He looked panicked and was really pounding on the door. The younger one looked emotionless and didn't say anything. We have to use your phone. I felt my hand moving forward towards the doorknob, but then I yanked it back. I don't know if I need to explain that. I wanted to help them, but I also felt afraid to help them. But I did. It's in all of the encounters, so I'm just confirming that yes, it happened to me too. These kids absolutely strike fear into your heart. It always seems strange to me that no one who's ever encountered the black eyed kids has ever heard of them before. I had at least read a few paranormal websites and I knew of a few of the stories people had told. I think that's why it was like reflex when I heard a request to use the phone. My eyes went to theirs and I saw that they were solid black and I knew what these kids were. The older kids seemed to immediately realize what I'd seen. I've heard that they usually get mad if you see their eyes. That didn't happen this time though. His eyes got a look of desperation. I swear to God I won't hurt you, he screamed. You can trust us. That's something I've never seen reported before. I ran to get my shotgun. I wasn't going to just stand there and listen to them begging to get in for the next hour. When I came back with the gun, though, they were already gone. In their place was a young girl. Her hair was very light. I remember it as almost white. She wasn't trying to get in. In fact, she was looking away. I pointed the gun at her anyway. You get the hell out of here. You don't need to do that, she said. I don't even want to get in. I lowered my gun involuntarily. This girl freaked me out far more than the boys did, but I was powerless to disobey her. She had power. There were some boys who came by and asked to come into your house. Is that correct? Yes, I said. I hoped that being honest with her would get her to go away as soon as possible. How long ago did they leave? Just now. I was going to get my gun for them, and when I came back, you were here. Excellent. Then they should still be close. Don't worry, you won't be seeing them again. She turned to me briefly, and I caught a glimpse of her face. I looked at the eyes, expecting them to be black again. Instead, I saw they were just pure white. No irises and no pupils, just pure white pools in her face that seemed to glow slightly in the darkness. She turned and walked away, and I realized something. I believed her. I fully expected I would never see those boys again.
So, this is
That's
interesting.
Yeah.
So,
this,
and the reason
this
why,
takes a turn
so
for me.
yeah. So this, I don't know. So I now my belief might be like demonic.
Demons and angels.
Well, maybe, but at the same time is uh Supernatural. It's a TV show, obviously. Anyone here that's probably watched it or seen an episode or two at least.
Nope, never seen it.
You
Just
get the
kidding.
fuck out of here. No. No,
It
no, in that in one of the seasons they showed Lilith as having white eyes.
Yes.
did.
That was how they showed her as different and more powerful from the other demons, is that she had white eyes. And you
Well,
thought
the
angel,
yeah.
but that's not true. She was just more. There was the yellow eyes demon. There was, Lilith had white eyes. There's red eyes and stuff like that. Like it was.
Yeah.
But I still like to think of it as in a biblical sense, because even though that girl said she wasn't going to harm the person,
Lilith isn't
the guy.
biblical.
Well, I mean, Lilith is biblical, but maybe that's why
I
she
know,
has
I
white
know.
eyes, because she's more biblical
Well,
or more of a
I
fallen
understand
angel.
where you're probably going to go with it as angels and demons. Like I kind of get that, but at the same time, the
Yeah.
guy was still fucking petrified of her.
Yeah.
You
I
know.
mean,
Yeah. So one of the
who
theories
wouldn't
that
be?
Well,
that
yes,
Basie
don't get me
had.
wrong. It could be psychological. You don't know what the fuck. This little
I'm not
girl
going to
is
answer the door with
terrifying
milk
you.
and cookies.
Yeah. So one of the theories that Basie had was that the eye color is an indication of demonic rank. Black eyes are said to indicate the worker or common demons. White eyes
Yes,
signify a sort of superior demon or
king.
boss demon. But why
Yeah,
is that one group seems to hunt the other? White-eyed kids definitely seem more powerful. And white-eyed kids are more adept
Or
of
and
mind
they could be
control and
just.
exhibit other phenomenon.
Yeah, they could be mischief demons and out
Yeah.
causing mischief when they're not supposed to be. I'm sure there are rules, regulations. If there are demons,
Yeah.
everyone follows, because you got to keep a big group of things organized. There is a hierarchy within the realm for a reason. So,
Yeah.
all those things could still follow the normal common sense that we follow, when it comes to,
Yeah.
you have a mischief employee causing problems, and then their leader, their supervisor comes and says, I'm really sorry that my employee, caused issues. I'm going to make sure you never have to deal with that again. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, they're not, that's just kind of my opinion.
Yeah.
is like,
Yeah.
that's very much so. Or who do we know saying those two low level demons are trying to pull something over by interacting with the human, and said higher level demons coming to track them down and hunt them down because they're doing something that's not part of their plan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
always
Exactly.
been a
where
theory.
the Indianapolis story comes into, because it has to do
Well,
with
hit
a
me.
black-eyed person and white-eyed children, and it kind of like
Okay.
goes into that more of like that demonic like ranking system almost, that they were there to like, hey, like you're not supposed to be here, kind of thing.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
just for
So
clarification, that last one was like Josh's hometown, right? Or Josh's
Yeah.
current
yeah,
residence. Yeah, that's
yeah,
about
it was
right.
actually probably like
Yeah,
right
it's
around
His
down
our
the
neighbor.
street. Down
His
the
neighbor.
street.
Well, he just moved into this house. I think it was that house.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's totally that's where it came from. Good luck,
Yeah.
Josh.
Yeah.
They're like, good luck, let all the
You'll be
children
in
in.
our
I give
thoughts.
you, yeah. Kara, move.
Yeah.
So let's hear more about this Indianapolis story.
Okay.
Wait, Josh, it's not really at your house. You tell
No,
me.
he's fine. He's teasing with us.
Hack, giggle, 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 giggle.
All right, so Indianapolis story.
Someone
So
run
this
knock
guy
on
lives
his
in
door at 3 a.m.
Indianapolis, and this was in 1988 that this took place. His girlfriend, myself, and a couple of friends were out bar hopping on a Friday night, just having a good time. I ran out of cash and had to run to the ATM at the bank down the block. I made it to the ATM and withdrew some cash, and this is where things got weird. I turned around and saw that across the street was a man leaning against the telephone pole on the corner. He was well dressed in a black suit with an open collar maroon shirt. He was tall, white, with short, jet black hair. I couldn't be sure at the distance, but I firmly believed that his eyes were completely jet black. The scariest part was that he was staring across the crowded intersection at me with this incredibly smug look on his face. I didn't want to hang around any longer than I had to, so I took off at a quick pace back toward the club where my friends were. After several yards, I allowed myself to glance backward and saw that he was following me across the street. I reminded myself that nothing could happen with all these people around, but I didn't really believe it. I reached the club, but there was a line in the front and the bouncer was checking IDs. I stood there shaking with fear as I saw the man pause on the other side of the street, look both ways, then calmly begin crossing toward me. Every move he made was precise and deliberate. I knew that when he got to me, something horrible was going to happen, and it was only with great effort that I managed to maintain my composure. Just then, another man walked up to me from the other direction. He was in his late 20s or early 30s, wearing jeans, sneakers, a baseball cap, and a hooded sweatshirt from a local university. He touched me on the shoulder, and I immediately felt calmer. Then he said, "Don't worry, you're all right. We have everything under control." I glanced back at the man in the suit, and he paused in the middle of the street. It's amazing that he wasn't run over. The sweatshirt man turned away from me to face the man in the suit. It was clear to me that this was a showdown. After a moment, the man in
What?
the suit sneered at us in frustration, it seemed, then turned around and walked away. The sweatshirt man turned back to me with a reassuring smile, patted my shoulder, and walked on.
I mean, what if we're living in fucking Constantine world?
Right?
Half demons, half angels, some fucking bonkers shit going on everywhere. You don't know. Like,
I
what
in
the
my head right
fuck?
now, I want to be the guy that steps up to do a showdown.
So, James, have you
Like,
seen Constantine with
yeah,
Keanu Reeves?
yeah.
I was gonna say if you haven't, it's on HBO, which should be on YouTube.
Well, one thing for me is, remember a couple shows back, it was one of the first shows we did, and it was I think it was the Rando Nautica one
Okay.
that we were talking about, and the guys in the cars that zoomed over to the right, and there was an old lady standing by a shopping cart, and
Oh
she
yeah,
had
yeah,
blacked out
yeah, yeah,
eyes,
yeah, yeah.
He
She was like,
did.
and
blah,
she,
blah, blah, like
yeah,
spewing hate,
she
you
was
know?
spewing hate, spewing a different in tongues, speaking in tongues essentially,
Yes.
Yeah,
and it
I
was,
do
I mean,
remember
her
that.
eyes were just completely black. I wish we had that video because that thing that's like a perfect representation of what we're talking about right now. And it just popped in my head when you said the showdown between light and dark.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's kind of is what that is. And
yeah.
and it just blows my mind. I could ramble on this for 2
Yeah.
hours right now. But
So so
it's ugh.
so Bo said we need oh hey, Mary said hi. Kayla. Bo said we
Oh,
need
hello.
Beatles and a shotgun. So it's funny. Abby once, like, we've been watching Sabrina on Netflix like a ton.
I love
Wants that
Sabrina.
Oh,
Volkswagen Beagle.
no,
I've already
Beetle
finished
as
it.
so Constantine. They used beetles that screech, and
Yep.
it's like nails on a chalkboard to a demon. So that's like a thing that they say in there. But I like. She was like, I want to be Sabrina, and I was like, I want to be John fucking Constantine. Like that guy is a badass. Like
Yeah, he is.
I'm now like looking into his comics and what like I heard they're coming out with
They're
Constantine
filming
2.
another one.
I,
Yeah,
I
they're
was
filming
I
another one
was
with
the one that
Keanu Reeves.
posted that.
Yeah, I thought I saw
I
that. I did.
I hope they go with it. I don't know if it's all said and done. I'm sorry we're getting off topic, but like that's how I feel sometimes. Like I want to be. Part of me wants to be able to know those things. You go and you see all the
Yeah.
crazy shit he's doing, and
Well, the fact of
um,
the matter is, there's guys hunting these things down, and I want to be one of those guys that's hunting this motherfucker
I
down.
mean, what if we are like, so
I want
let's
to be that
say
guy.
let's say Supernatural, the TV show. What if there's a Sam and Dean out there, and we're just ghost facers?
That's disheartening.
Like I know, right? Don't you want to do better? I personally want to do. I want to be John fucking Constantine. I then I need to start getting tattoos on my arms and being able to fucking summon things. You know,
So,
I don't know, man.
excuse you, bless you. What'd you just say?
Well, if you saw the movie, you would know what I'm talking about when I say when I
I
do
know
that.
exactly what he's talking about. When they come together, he opens the void. I know. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'm gonna grab
So,
another beer.
oh yeah, go grab your beer. Is there any other questions in the chat that people want to cover?
100% ghost facers. That's what most
100%. Yeah, no, absolutely, 100% we're ghost facers. Was it like ghost
Yeah,
facers?
Mike is right. I mean, there is a lot of scariness to how much we don't know, and part of that is why I want to.
That's the big thing.
And so I've had a few beers, so now we're getting into a little into Kevin's subconscious and what I think about. So I think the only thing that's holding me back personally from like doing all these crazy things and studying even further and going further down the rabbit hole is I have a daughter, I have a family. I think that's what holds a lot of people back from wanting to go even further down the rabbit hole than what we do already.
Yeah, no,
Because
that
what if I open up something that, causes harm to my family? Do I know how to fucking close it? Yes. Oh, we lost James.
Oh, we lost James.
He'll be back.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mike, I agree. Like, you hold a certain responsibility. Like, I need to put my family first. I can't be doing these things. And I basically told my wife, I said, if something happens to my family and it's paranormal related, John Constantine is real then. Like, I'm becoming John fucking Constantine. I don't
I got
care
you.
how fucking crazy I sound. I don't give a shit what people think. I'll turn into John Constantine to figure out what the fuck happened to my family.
So it's not my internet. It's my Discord thing is actually crashing every time because my computer over here was unaffected.
Interesting.
It's the actual Discord app that crashes and restarts every time.
Well, we might need to uninstall it and reinstall it.
That sounds like a probably plan I should look into, huh?
Yeah. Well, it could be from that one time, when we talked about that one case that we shouldn't really ever talk about because fucked up shit happens. When that
Yeah.
happened and you had like error messages after Discord.
Yeah, that was very crazy. That was very. Do we lose Kayla? Is Kayla here?
No, okay, let's do here.
Oh, I
Bo.
just don't see
I
her
was reading
picture.
Bo's comment, Constantine. We'd have to learn
Oh, okay.
every religion, dark side, or either.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Bo's totally right. Well, get all tatted up, but just don't start chain smoking.
Yeah, no joke. You don't want the devil. You don't want the devil. The devil ripping the cancer out of your lungs.
Yeah. Hey, he has seen it. He gave a Constantine reference.
I know. I've seen Constantine. It's
I
one of
just
my favorite
I just wanted to make
movies.
sure. Abby hates it. She
So
hates
speaking of a
she hates Keanu
movie,
Reeves.
speaking of videos, I say it's time for us to
Oh,
analyze our video.
yeah. Well, again, you're gonna have to give me a minute here.
So, chat, if you have any questions, this is a good time to ask those questions now before we get to the video tonight. And it's going to be kind of related to what we're talking about tonight. So if you have any questions about black-eyed children or white-eyed children or people, we don't know
Kayla,
what
did
they
you
have.
have another one?
I
Did you have another?
have like 3 more.
Well, then
Go ahead with
go-
one more while I set
you-
this up. But
Okay.
chat, just so you're aware, the screen's gonna flop back and forth. So while I get this set up, so sorry about that.
Okay. So kids maneuvered around his car, and the youngest one said, "It's scary out here all alone, and we just want to ride home." Apparently, Doug had interacted with the younger one earlier and had agreed to drive him home. The two older ones creeped him out and he changed his mind. John felt as if his heart was going to erupt from his throat as adrenaline raced through him. Doug said he was getting out of the car. As soon as he reached for the handle, it was like the children got older somehow, and he saw their eyes were solid black, no pupil, no iris, nothing, just black. John threw the car into reverse and squealed the car backwards about 60 feet. The kids began to pursue them. John took the car around the lot's corner, going about 30 miles an hour. He felt that they would die if he let those kids get in the car. He sped down 3 floors, only to find the oldest boy was already at the bottom of the garage when they came out. They sped past him out of the garage, and when John glanced in the rearview mirror, the boy was gone. And so was that menacing feeling that had been building inside him since making contact with those kids. They waited a few minutes before going back, and Doug was able to get in his car and head home. The black-eyed children were nowhere in sight. Upon leaving the garage for the second time that night, the menacing feeling returned. John was behind Doug's car, watching helplessly as it misjudged the time it would take to get through an intersection. Instantly, John saw the 3 black-eyed children still lurking about 2 blocks away.
I didn't catch all of that
So,
because I
like,
was working on some things, but that's
I don't
interesting.
know, but that seems kind of. It reminds me of kind of like the Mothman feel, for it being kind of like the harbinger of death there,
Yeah.
because they
I'll be
showed
right
up
back,
right
guys.
before a drastic event happened. But then again, this was not a place like a home. He was in a parking garage, so it could have been like the same form of a black-eyed kid, but not because it's not asking for permission to come in.
It was asking for permission to get into his car, though.
So kind of the same basis.
Yeah. So there's multiple stories of people who have been like in their vehicles and the kids have came up to their car and wanting to get in their car. They're just wanting in. They're wanting you to accept them into your lives almost is what it seems like.
Yeah, it's like it's like they can. It's like a early question for possession or something.
Yes. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So that one was
Huh.
pretty
That
wild.
is
So the
pretty
guy that
intense.
cuz Doug, who was the one who asked for him to like drive him around at first, he said that he had talked to the younger one and said that he would give him a ride home. And Doug's the one who died in the car accident because he accepted the younger one in the beginning.
So the other guy did not.
No.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So because he said I would give you a ride,
Yes.
that
He
was
let him
he
in.
acknowledged he let him into the vehicle, and that's the one that passed away.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's kind of
moral
like where
story.
when I said like with the people who disappeared, there's not many people who have accepted them letting these kids in that have been able to tell their story because
Yeah, because
things happen.
as soon as you let him in, bad things happen.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Huh.
Sorry about that.
That's crazy.
Yep.
That's absolutely crazy. I didn't even think about that.
Yep.
So moral of the story is, if you hear a knock in the middle of the night, tell them to go the hell away.
Get the fuck
Just don't
out of
answer.
here.
And a lot of the stories, like people
Our
who
Father,
like
our
say
art in heaven.
they're gonna call the cops, like the kids just disappear.
Moral of the
Interesting.
story is, say, I'm calling authorities.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I'm calling the police. Get out of here.
Calling the popos.
That's a good one. So, all right, guys, you have another one, Kayla, or do you want to? What are we doing?
It's up to you guys.
We can do one more.
We do one more story, then hit the video.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Premonition or I kind of like this one. So this one was about like somebody's like past relative that came to like save them when the kids showed up at their house.
So someone who's passed
So
away.
yes. Yeah. So this girl was home alone at one night, just casually watching TV around 3 a.m. when I heard a knock at my door. It's pretty late in the night, but my sister would pop in around this time unexpected all the time. But as I reached for the door, I noticed it was increasingly quiet, regardless that I live in the country. I didn't even hear crickets chirping outside. When I opened the door, there was a little boy staring at the ground wearing old-time clothes, possibly from like the 70s. He asked if he could come inside to use the bathroom. I thought this was strange because it's 3 in the morning. I asked the boy if he was lost or lived somewhere in town. He didn't answer, but instead he just said he really had to go if he could please come inside. As he looked up, I saw his pitch black eyes. As I looked in his eyes, I heard a voice say loudly right beside me, "Close the door now." I immediately slammed the door and looked beside me to see my uncle, who passed away when I was a kid, standing beside me. As I stood completely frozen, he spoke softly, "I will always protect you," and pointed to the necklace he gave me when he passed away. When I looked up, he was gone. I looked out the window at the porch and said the kid was gone as well. I locked the door and didn't open it until morning. I believe my uncle is my guardian angel, and I believe he saved me that night.
Holy shit.
It's pretty wild.
That's a cool
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
So having that
Short,
guardian angel,
simple.
that's a big
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts. That's awesome though. So that's it. Yeah, the moral story. You see how they interact with it. Shut the door. Told them no.
Yeah.
You know, you don't acknowledge that it's that you're even gonna have a glimpse of coming in, because then bad things happen.
Yeah.
And that may be that question they need to make bad things happen.
Use some
So if
authority
you
when you
invite
say
them,
it.
yeah, absolutely. No, get the hell away from us.
Yeah.
All right,
It's
we
crazy,
ready for
though.
some
For sure.
videos?
It is.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
So this is again from Nukes. This is an older one.
I love nukes. I
yeah,
love nukes.
Nukes, right? You said nukes.
I said nukes.
Just making sure. So no, this is Black Eyed Children. I haven't seen it. So there are some that I have looked up and like watched some
This
videos
is
of,
about to be freaky, I think.
and it's bad. Like they're not good evidence. So I don't know how his is. He normally doesn't
He
disappoint.
usually does good videos.
He normally does solid stuff, but this is 2 years ago. So who
Okay.
knows? But yeah, again, everyone, this is Nuke's top 5. We do. Let me put it in the chat so everyone can go and check out his page. We do ask that you do follow him. If you do like the stuff you see today, we don't want to.
Follow him up.
We don't want you. We don't want anyone to think that we are, just stealing from him. We do want to give him proper credit. So move over here.
Well, let's restart the video. Re-roll that beautiful footage. I don't hear any. Am I supposed to hear sound right now? Oh, did you wait? You're back. There you go. There we go. There we go. Let's restart it now. Here. Now they can hear us. All right, guys. Sorry about that. Kevin's real mixed up with his mute buttons.
The top 5 black-eyed children caught on camera. Out of all the creepy urban legends and supernatural tales from the internet, some of the most frightening and bizarre may be the stories of the so-called black-eyed children, or black-eyed kids. The black-eyed children are supposedly supernatural creatures that resemble children between the ages of 6 and 16 years old, with pale skin and coal black eyes. These creatures are often said to appear on lonely roads asking for a ride, or even at the front door of a home, asking to be allowed inside. It is said that allowing a black-eyed child inside a car or a house results in a horrible curse being placed on the occupants. The urban legend is not specific on exactly what the black-eyed children might be. Explanations range from ghosts and evil spirits, all the way to possessed children and even demons. They are also said to inhabit solitary locations such as forests or uninhabited countryside roads. These are 5 videos of people who claim to have captured black-eyed children on video. These stories are presented as they were related by the original video posters, but as always, it's up to you to choose what you believe. Summoning black-eyed children. The creator of the channel Fantastic Daily says that he is obsessed with finding evidence that proves the existence of so-called black-eyed children.
Here we go.
As such, he has studied hours of alleged footage of these beings. He says that he believes that he has found a sound isolated in lower audio frequencies that can actually be used to summon black-eyed children. As an experiment, he set up his laptop camera to record overnight while continuously playing this low-frequency tone, in hopes that he would actually lure a black-eyed child to his door and catch the incident on camera. On the first night, his laptop camera recorded nothing. On the second night, something activated his motion-sensitive outdoor light. But again, there was nothing on camera. Night 3, nothing. Night 4, still nothing appeared. But then, very late on night 5, something shocking happened. Someone appears on the front porch, standing and staring inside the house for over an hour.
Look at that. That is crazy. How long was it out there? Man, this is like an hour. It was out there for like over an hour.
As the strange visitor left, the investigator claims that he was awoken by the sound of movement outside and got up to check.
Hello? Hello?
There was no one there, but the gate to the house had been left open. Eerily enough, the man lives in a secluded area, only accessible via a long unpaved road through the woods, so any visitor at any time would be uncommon. But he says that this visitor was absolutely terrifying. A creepy photobomb.
All right. James, I think you're muted, bud. Kayla?
I just finished the video.
Oh, okay. Oh, James is on the phone.
Oh.
I am going to respect his privacy, and we'll just go ahead and blank that out for a moment, and James can just start talking whenever he is ready. I'll hear him in Discord and all.
Yeah.
So, Kayla, since I've already seen this one, I will be honest, while I was looking at other videos, seeing if they were going to be up to snuff to nukes, I saw this one. So, this is your first interaction with it. What's your thoughts?
I guess what I have pictured in my head of what black-eyed children would be, that's not what I pictured. So to me, it looked like a person standing outside. But
So,
the fact that she had the black hair, the black clothing, the pale skin,
I'm back.
but it doesn't seem like, the big black eyes that you describe, and like a lot of the stories that we had been like I've been telling, they don't look down. They aren't like looking into your home or anything. They're looking down at the ground. So
So
Yeah, that
like,
I don't
one
know.
different. That
yeah,
like it looked like I don't know. That looked like more of a prank to me.
well, either a prank or a setup.
Yeah. I was gonna say more of like a setup, like it was
But
like a friend standing out there.
yeah,
Because
exactly.
I didn't see the prominent black eyes on that first one.
Yeah, but at the same time, what's this low frequency? Like personally,
Yeah.
that is intriguing. Um,
Yeah.
Very much so.
take everything
I
out
might.
of it. That low frequency thing is intriguing to me. Like not that I plan on doing it at my house by any stretch
Oh
of the
no
Not
no
that I'll
means.
no
be
no
trying
no
it this
no.
evening,
Yeah.
but
An abandoned house, or a house that we're investigating, huh?
Like a test, like a just
I
a
don't know.
scientific
Like,
test
I
or
mean,
anything. I don't know.
I would definitely float the idea before we just did it to everybody, because from our studies, from what we've
Experience.
researched, anyone that gets in contact long term lets them in. There's nosebleeds, there's cancer, there's tumors, there's a bunch of
Yeah.
horrible things that entail. So if we ever were to actually go forward with this, we would obviously shut the door. At least
Oh yeah.
at this point, we would obviously shut the door.
Shut the door and go. I'm calling the cops.
But we would record the goddamn thing.
yeah.
Yes, but anyway, that one that was definitely creepy as hell, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
That was definitely creepy as hell.
I will say from the other video that I watched, I didn't see as much of. So I saw the difference between Nukes. I want to give some credit to Nuke because the other guy just showed like day 5, and that was like, and someone was there, stood there for an hour, boom, done. And I was like, oh,
Yeah,
well,
and that was it. He explains it.
yeah,
Yeah. There
Nuke
was
gave
more
day
Video
1,
storytelling up to
day
it.
2, day 3,
Yeah.
and I didn't even know the lights went off, porch lights went off, and that could be nothing, but still,
Yeah,
it
that could be anything.
adds
I mean, it
to
could
the
be an
story.
animal or
It's
yeah.
already a short story, and it's only 10 minutes long, and this whole video is 10 minutes long, and that was 4 minutes of it. So,
That's awesome. So
yeah.
and there's 5 of them. So let's kick number 4. Let's see what's up.
Yep.
Chinese-Canadian musician Milo LV posted a simple Instagram video of her and a friend hanging out by the pool.
Hey guys! It's super hot in Vancouver today, and me and Joanna are just waiting for our friend who is super late to come today. And if you guys see this video, take a look at how nice the drink, the cute girl, and how nice the pool is. You guys should come right now and join us, right? Right? Oh, okay, you know what? Talk to you guys later. Bye.
Now, I don't know what she was babbling about there, but after watching the video, her fans flooded her comment section claiming that they saw something creepy in the background of the video.
If you guys see this video, take a look at how nice.
I can't see
Some
it with
claimed
that.
it was a black-eyed kid watching them from the opposite side of the pool. Whatever it is, the figure mysteriously disappears by the time the camera pans back to where it was standing. As for Milo
Okay.
LV, she says, quote, "Once I saw it, I was terrified. When I think about it now, I still feel a little creeped out."
You know what? Talk to you guys later. Bye.
Something.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting.
That's interesting, but there's a lot of factors there.
Yeah, I don't. She looks popular.
Yeah, she does.
She looks like she probably has a following. So, you never know. There are stalkers and peeping toms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And warm in Vancouver must have been a weird time of year.
Yeah.
Summer, probably.
I don't
So
know.
I would have to go with
It's
summer.
my
probably.
it's my ignorant American coming out in me.
Oh, Vancouver. But that one's a little bit harder because for me, there could have been reflection off water. There's too many variables in that video for me to make it consistently. I mean, it's blurry. Yes, it looks like a face, or is it something catching light? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
I,
just
I
my
mean,
opinion.
Mike says that he noticed how much she panned. Yeah, but she did have a
He was
friend in the
panning a
pool.
lot. That's true.
And this also could be in like a B&E, so like bed and breakfast kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
or one of those, what do you call those that you don't stay in but you rent out for a little bit? It's someone
Hostel?
else's home.
A VRBO or
Yeah,
Airbnb.
yeah. So you want to show off the whole, like, I kind of get it, for if
Yeah.
it's a fancy place and you want to, and you're not normally there. So, part of me
Yeah.
kind of gets that, but at the same time, it is odd how, but where the thing was located was right behind her, so she didn't really need a pan. It was right
Yeah.
behind her,
Right there. All right, let's kick number 3.
Hmm.
Maybe.
Thing in the
I got
road.
it.
Kevin broke it.
For number
Kevin
3,
Brackett.
we again go back to the YouTube channel Fantastic Daily, whose creator, a self-proclaimed black-eyed kid investigator, had a strange recorded encounter on his front porch. This next footage took place a week after the first video. The investigator
hang on
said that
here. I'm gonna pause it for a second.
Did you really break it?
Yeah, no, I didn't break it. But this guy, we need to go to his YouTube. Like later on, outside our stream. I just want to say it publicly. Like, we need to go to his YouTube, like it, look at it, because he obviously probably has his frequency on there. This is the same guy.
Oh, this
Oh,
is the same
okay.
guy?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the same guy. So he obviously has his own YouTube channel, and is trying to lure these in. I'm actually intrigued.
I'm very intrigued on this aspect too right now, so I'm in. I'm in.
after being more than a little freaked out by his first recording, he had stopped playing the audio tone that he had used in hopes of attracting the black-eyed kids to his home. But it might have been a little too late. One night, as he was driving along the secluded trail that leads to his home, he thought he saw someone walk across the road in front of his car. So, he stopped the vehicle and started filming with his cell phone.
Ah, he's dead. Got out of his car.
Unfortunately, he didn't really catch anything on camera. At least that's what he thought. After returning to his home, he decided to check through the footage recorded
Everybody
on his
knows the
phone.
rule, don't get out.
What he found chilled him to the core. Although it's hard to tell in the dark, it looks like someone walking along beside the road, hidden in the dark brush, and unnoticed as the man films.
I didn't see this when I was walking around out there. I mean, there's a noise that you can hear in the video coming from that direction, but I definitely didn't see
Oh, I
it.
saw it. See, that's
So is
better.
this one of the black-eyed children? Is it just someone out for a bizarre night stroll in the dark woods? Or is it all just a hoax? Because of the sheer volume of material on black-eyed kids on the Fantastic Daily channel, some believe it to be a hoax. Personally, I would recommend that you check it out for yourself and see what you think. The link to the channel is in the video description.
The same face
Trail
as he
cam
caught before.
kids.
Hang on, James. I'm getting to us.
Sorry.
No,
I
you're
forget
fine.
about that.
You're fine. So, no, yeah, no, I agree. It's the same person, but so like, we take all these videos, if it's the same person, he's telling a damn good story, and he's a damn good storyteller.
Yeah.
no,
He uses
absolutely.
the same person if he's gonna fake it, and
Yeah, at least
I
he's
am
staying with it.
and I'm not saying he is faking it, but at the same time, you gotta be objective. You gotta look at this from all angles, kind of thing. And it is interesting. But
Oh, yeah.
I'm definitely gonna check out his YouTube channel and look at a few after this, because I didn't know about I saw that video.
I didn't know that was YouTube
And I saw
channel.
his second video on the same YouTube video that I saw on someone else's, and I didn't know they're linked. The person in the video did not say they were linked at all. Nuke is the first one to tell me that it's the same person. So
Oh,
I'm
same
actually,
correlation with the
yeah,
videos.
I'm
Okay.
actually really I'm more intrigued about both of those videos now that I know they're the same thing because they do look similar.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
person looks similar at least. So at least that's consistent.
It does. They look similar. So I'm excited to see if there's another one of these on this
Lisa,
video.
yes, classic horror mistake. I
It's
agree.
Elisa. She was
Elisa,
on last
hey
night.
Lisa, I am terribly sorry.
Elisa.
Hey Lisa,
We had a hard
I'm
time
3
last night
beers
too, but
in. Forgive me.
she was on last night and we were like, is it Alyssa? Is it Elisa? And she like spelled it out for us. So it's Elisa.
Nice, cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being a viewer of all our things.
Yeah.
Yes, thanks,
Thank
Lisa.
you.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's very, very cool.
What are
I'm
you guys' thoughts?
excited.
Kayla, we haven't heard anything. What do you think?
Yeah.
Like I said earlier about the first one, it just looks too much like. But like I said, I think I have this picture in my head of what these kids look like, and that's not fitting the description that I'm picturing them as. So that could probably be a big part of it.
That makes sense.
But the fact, and did it say like time frame wise of when he caught the first one of when that happened? I missed that.
I think it was like the next week. Shortly, I think it was within the next week.
The
that
time
that
frame
happened.
was still reasonably
so
within the first incident.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would say
that
at
one's
most
hard.
2 weeks, but I mean,
Yeah.
if
That's a
you
hard
say
one.
if you say the first one's fake, then you have to say the second one's fake. You can't say
Yeah.
they're both legit, or you can't say one's fake and
No,
one's
I
legit.
agree there. But
You're
now that
either
we're
a
getting more
non-believer of both, or
sightings,
you're a believer of both.
For me, it's making me believe more because it's starting to correlate the videos together to where it seems like he might be getting more evidence.
I'll be honest.
I feel like
I'm gonna watch his shit.
I just want
Go
to
ahead.
check out his page.
You're gonna watch.
Yeah.
You all are just gonna watch his stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch his stuff. I'm gonna look at him like, man, we did a shit job of talking about all this stuff. He's spent years, and we're just like, one episode, fucking clutch, nailed it. And this guy is, blood, sweat, and tears into this one subject.
This is his life at this
and
point.
we're just like,
there's no turning
one
back at this
night
point.
talking about it. So maybe if there's more interesting stuff that he brings, we might, maybe reach out to him. Maybe we'll try to reach out to him, or at least cover some of his good topics that he adds to this, and maybe do a follow-up episode, in dedication.
I like that idea.
All the stuff that he's brought.
Reaching out to him.
Yeah, I agree with that.
James, you're good at that
love
stuff.
It. Yeah, I'm good at that stuff. I'll reach out to him.
All right, well let's move on to the next number 2. Trail cams.
Trail cam kids.
As I mentioned in the beginning of this video, black-eyed children are believed to inhabit unpopulated areas like lonesome roads and dense forests. So it's no surprise that many people have claimed to capture black-eyed kids on trail cams located deep in the woods. The cameras are set up to trigger and snap photos when there is any movement. They're usually used to track wildlife in remote wooded areas. In this particular shot, posted online, the trail cam seems to have spotted 2 deer. But they were not alone. What looks to be a small girl in a white gown can be seen in the photo. Many believe this photo to be a black-eyed child captured on camera. This is not the only time that a trail camera has allegedly captured a black-eyed child roaming alone through the woods. Black-eyed children, UK.
Well, shit, that was quick. Dude, that's some creepy stuff.
Oh shit, that was quick.
Kayla, what the fuck?
What the?
I have fucking goosebumps right now.
I got goose pimples everywhere.
Belinda, thank you. We appreciate the comment.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Wow.
Jesus.
This is at night in the middle of nowhere, and none of those kids were in period clothing where there should be even trail cams around. They caught actual pictures of these demons or these entities traveling around the world.
I don't know about period
I'm
correctness.
convinced.
I mean, he's sober, folks, so I don't know. Like,
Yeah, I'm the one that's not drinking. Believe me.
yeah. No,
I'll drink to that.
No, this is interesting. I mean, it's fascinating, but
that's crazy.
In my opinion, we need to, and it sucks because we're not going to get it.
Yeah.
But where the location of these trail cams? Are they near homes? Are these? So, and the reason why I asked,
I want to put trail cams up everywhere.
Doesn't 765 use trail cams?
I believe they do.
Yeah, they do. I wish we had more of them. Honestly, we don't have any. Trail cams are actually a decent idea.
Yeah. I wish we had more of them. Oh yeah, we don't own any.
More than one. No,
I could probably get my hands on a couple.
So
yeah,
the reason why I say this is interesting, I mean, part of it is we need to know location, how close they are to homes and stuff like that. And part of the reason why I say that is because I've recently found out that one of my nephews actually sleepwalks. They recently found that out.
Yep, no, absolutely.
And if it's close to a home, sleepwalking is a weird fucking thing.
Usually trail cams aren't neat.
They're usually on the edge of a field.
I know. I have deers in my backyard. That's the only reason why I'm saying it. And I live in near town.
Yeah, you do.
But there is
if you have trail cams up for deer, they're not in your backyard, I promise.
Yeah, but what if you're just trying to catch a weird fucking photo? That'll creep people out.
Well, that's true
too. You're probably not going to make anything
that's
from
the side of it. That's the side of it you got to take too. Is people?
I'm negative Nancy tonight. Someone's got to be it.
Somebody's got to do it.
And anyone in chat named Nancy, I'm terribly sorry.
That one gave me goosebumps there. That's all I got.
Yeah,
no, it's chilling. It's chilling.
If it's real, that's scary as hell. If it's not, great job faking those pictures.
I think it's our closest to actual children photographs.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. It is children being photographed. And when you see it in that context, all alone next to deer, are they photoshopped in or whatever?
Like the deer, he's even like, what the heck's going on?
There are some where the deer fucking look at him.
What are you doing here?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing here?
And in any normal circumstance, those deer would have fucking ran.
Yeah. How'd that person get so close to a deer like that?
Photoshop,
that's my
or
thing.
It's supernatural.
Stop saying computer stuff.
Hey, I'm just saying, those are the two options. Paranormal,
I know,
or Photoshop.
That's true. All right, let's watch this last one. I'm ready.
The black-eyed child phenomenon is not only relegated to North America. There have been multiple sightings in England as well. In Yorkshire, England, we find another account of a black-eyed child. A woman named Hannah Butler took a picture of what she believes to be a black-eyed girl in Hesselforshire Woods. Hannah snapped this picture back in 2013. But she claims that to this day, she still has terrible nightmares where she is haunted by the black-eyed girl in the picture. In the end, reports of the black-eyed children have been around since the early 90s and will probably continue for many years to come. So, do you believe in the mysterious black-eyed children? And if so, what do you believe they are? Ghosts, spirits, demons, or something else entirely? Or do you think that all of the reports are either hoaxes or simply the figment of overactive imaginations? Let me know what you think down in the comments.
That last one was a little weak for me.
Yeah, that one didn't come in strong. I mean, it's just a blurry photo. It's just like how people say they see shadows in videos.
It's
and
interesting.
Stuff like that too.
I mean,
oh yeah,
it's an interesting photo. It looks deformed.
It did look deformed.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, a little bit malnourished to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know the landscape. I don't know Yorkshire, England, so I don't know anything about it. If there's a
I don't
lot of
even know where
woods,
that is.
it's in England.
Well, yeah, thanks, Kevin. Captain Obvious over here.
Some bitch is a sober one over there. I don't know what his problem is.
I got a drunk. I got I got a guy that's drinking answer. That's what I got.
Oh man, no, it's interesting. It just seemed really quick to end on that one. I don't know. I would have reversed the orders. I would have had the trail cams
Yeah.
last or something. But
That's
that's
true.
black-eyed children. There's not a lot out there. Maybe
Mm-mm.
that one guy has a lot more than what we're
Oh, we're
aware of.
definitely. You guys will let me know about 10 minutes after you get off this. I have a feeling I'm going to be getting a
Kayla's gonna
video from this
dive into
guy.
that rabbit
Yeah,
hole.
Kayla's probably been diving into it like crazy already.
Yeah.
Ugh.
She's been diving into it like crazy.
Maybe.
Maybe. It's a
Maybe.
good possibility. There's like a 90% chance.
I don't get it. You get into these crazy things that are horrible images on the internet, and phasmophobia is your downfall.
I played last night.
I know you
Thank
did.
you.
I know.
Josh
That's
can back me
true.
up.
I
We have it.
watched.
We have proof.
I watched
You guys
it.
did great. I was popping in and out of it last night. It was great, guys.
If
I
my
enjoyed
character could
thoroughly
drag
enjoyed
your ass in, I would have already.
I think it's because I know Josh isn't gonna like close the door on me and be like, "Okay, bye." Unlike you. Then I
James
turn
needs to
around
get
and I'm
in
like,
on
"Where'd you
that.
go?"
All right, guys.
Jesus.
Anybody in the chat have any questions that we were talking about covering the black-eyed children or the white-eyed children's tonight? Please put it in the chat now while we're sitting here chit-chatting, kind of winding things down. Also, if you notice at the top of the screen is you can go to wprs.live/merch.
That one over here. Yep.
Oh, they can't see it?
No, they can. I just like to
Okay.
point to it.
It's like right.
Nope,
Like,
the other
right.
way. The other way. The other way, guys.
Right there.
It's
I think it's right there.
reverse. I did the same thing. It's reverse.
I'm just gonna do this.
That way?
I'm just gonna do this. You just gotta go like right there. Okay. Go
Mike,
there.
Mike, thank you again for the recommendation.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for delving me into another rabbit hole.
Children,
Yes, and we're always
they
shoot
can
topics at
be a
us all the
blessing.
time.
Don't get me wrong. I have a daughter. She is amazing. But they can be the devil.
They can be the devil.
So yeah, I told my wife, one kid, that's it. She's too good. I can't have another one. I'll obviously choose favorites.
I'll obviously choose favorites.
But
that cracked me up right there.
we also, like we said earlier on in the series or in the show, that we will probably pick up another night with something. And as of right
Yeah, we
now,
will.
we are looking at another game night because there's not a lot to do. And eventually, when COVID goes away, we might pick it up as a Randonautica night,
Yep.
or haunt or investigation at the haunt, at Evil on Erie, or some other things. But as of right now, I know we're not a gaming channel, but we have to do with what we have access to right now, and we appreciate you guys really supporting us through all this stuff. And
Absolutely.
so
Hopefully
we're
we get
just-
stars again.
yeah, we're just trying to build a community. We're trying to get some stars back because it's hard with just 2 nights that we stream to get stars consistently because we're constantly on the edge of losing them. So tonight and last night will help us get back on track a little bit. We'll need another night as well. So I don't know what night that's going to be yet, but stay tuned. We'll definitely let you guys know in our page. So stay tuned to that.
Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
maybe
Thanks
we'll
for joining.
we'll like post something here in the next couple days, maybe to like get some topic ideas of what people want to listen to.
Yeah.
Since this seemed to go over really well.
Yeah,
I
That
think
really
that
went
would
over
be.
really, really well.
Mike
Yeah.
nailed it. So
Yeah.
appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Good job, Mike. Thank you. Thank you so
So
much.
maybe we'll
Mike.
do like a poll type thing or something.
And Mike,
future.
I'm gonna share this weird story with you real quick, Mike. You not knowing it, you suggested the black-eyed children,
I
and
don't know if
when
he
I
was here
woke
for
up
that.
this morning, when I woke up this morning, my Facebook memories 3 years ago, no joke, there was a podcast about black-eyed children
That we did.
on the
It was
same day.
what was our show called then?
Synchronicity.
Synchronicities.
Unsolved Paranormal.
Unsolved Paranormal. That's right.
Yep, that's back when we were doing the UP, Unsolved Paranormal,
So,
and
But-
that was just crazy. It was just crazy.
But I appreciate it. I think that's all we have for you tonight. I think that's a good place to end it on and wrap it up.
Yeah.
If you guys have any questions, either comment again and we'll catch it up. We'll catch up with you, or leave a comment, post on our page, anything like that. So we appreciate you all tuning
Don't
in.
answer your doors.
Don't
answer your
answer
doors.
your
Don't let
doors.
kids in.
3 a.m, kids knock.
Call the police.
Leave it. I don't care if it's snowing. Leave it. Don't answer it.
Whoever's out there, there's
Don't answer
neighbors.
the door.
Yeah,
They can go to the other house.
It ain't worth a brain tumor or cancer.
Or dying.
Or dying.
Fact.
You're not for sure.
Yeah.
Or being
All right,
one of the
guys.
missing 90,000.
Yeah, that too. There's that.
All right, I'm getting out of here.
All right,
Awesome
take it easy,
chatting with you
everyone.
guys.